What is going on? I have a surprise for you guys today. Now, I know I've been focusing a lot on the 73 on Instagram. I think it was in my most recent video, but I do have a lot of stuff still planned with the 73. I'm gonna take my time. This build's probably gonna take me a good bit. I have already done some work to the 73. Follow me on Instagram, you've seen like the wooden steering wheel. I got a video with some other stuff because I went ahead and did like a small tune-up on the engine. Just small stuff on the engine that'll be in a different video, but this is not my surprise. My surprise is different. So you guys know 74 Auto, they sent me out the awesome Duramax diesel that we're still working on finished building, still working on the frame swap and stuff like that. And they know that we're kind of nearing the end on that. We're gonna be able to bring the dually home soon whenever the frame is done. So they went ahead and sent me the next project that I have to install or build. And that's what's in today's video. But before I show you what that vehicle is, I do have a word from today's sponsor. We need to cut to me doing the other in the room. Yeah. Oh, you know what time it is? It's money time. I mean, sponsorship time. But what do men love other than money? Having hair. Here's the deal. 2 out of 3 men will experience male pattern baldness in some way, shape, or form by the time they're 35. Yeah, that probably includes you. You bald bastard. But I have good news for you, specifically you. With today's science, Keeps, this stuff right here, Keeps offers proven treatment that can combat the symptoms of hair loss. You do not want to know how many times it took for me to say that properly. For this kind of stuff, you used to have to go to the doctor's office, and now you can visit a doctor online thanks to Keeps and have the medicine show directly up to your door. No more waiting rooms or checkout lines, all places that people can see your shiny bald head. Here's the deal, you gotta act fast because prevention is key. They're 90% effective at stopping and preventing future hair loss. So the sooner you start doing it, the better it is for your head. And there's a lot of men who experience hair regrowth using Keeps. I want you to look like a chia pet. But don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of their competitors. And that's why me and nearly 100,000 other dudes trust Keeps. You know my hair stays messed up. I'm trying to grow a mullet. I'm doing my best. And here's the cool part is that Keeps treatment starts at just $10 a month. But if you're ready to take action and prevent all your hair loss, go to keeps.com/do-it, like do it Dan, get it. With Dan wasn't in the budget. Receive 40% off on your first order just because I love you so much. That's keeps.com/do-it. Go check out all the reviews and the customer testimonials and photos and whatnot. You can clearly see the difference, and I highly suggest using and trying Keeps. So thank you for sponsoring the video. Now it's time to go back to doing whatever we were doing. I don't even remember what I recorded at this point, so just cut it. 74 Auto sent out a sweet new project vehicle for me to build. And I kind of want to go outside and show you guys right now, but it's like full-blown raining. Okay, it's a Jeep Wrangler. I'll go ahead and show you now. It's a 2018 Jeep Wrangler. It's 4-door, 4-wheel drive, and it's got the V6. It's the Unlimited Sport Edition or whatever. I don't know if that matters to anybody. It's not the holy crap edition. It's not the Moab or the crazy off-road edition. It shows up like this, stock. Pop the hood, no shit, Jay-Z. Pop that hood. Look at this bad boy. Hell yeah, we could fit an LS in there. Nope, no Hellcat swap, no LS, nothing like that. We just have a wrecked Jeep Wrangler. And yeah, it's pretty wrecked. Now, I'll go into details in a second, but here's what you should know, is that it does run and it does drive. And it will drive just like this, believe it or not. I'll go to that in a minute, but let's do a quick walk around. Close that bad boy. Nice and smooth. Obviously, it's missing its front panels. You're gonna have to get those. Doors look fine. It's still raining. You have to forgive me. Hopefully the lens isn't getting wet. Doors are fine on this side. Looks fine. Even this little plastic fender that I'll probably end up replacing anyway is good. Move on to the back, and for the most part, most of the back is fine. I mean, it needs a new rear bumper, and then it's got some damage back here. Obviously, the rear taillight is bone-renoed. All this body panel damage. I'm assuming what they'll do is, I don't know how much of this is replaceable. Looks like there's a seam there, so it might be easier to replace this whole panel instead of just cutting and welding and then repainting, but it'll have to get painted anyway. I don't know. I don't know much about Jeeps, and I'll let Lewis tell us in a little bit. Then we got, this is pretty bone-renoed. And then obviously it needs a new front end. It needs a new front bumper and quarters. I don't know about you guys, but looks like it's missing a couple parts in here. I would say probably like a radiator. It definitely needs a new steering pump, by the way. Found out that the steering pump, which I believe what these lines hook up to, so there's no power steering in it right now, and it drives like ass. Let me pop this bad boy. Oh, nope, that goes right through there. There we go. Nice. Let's check out the interior. Don't let that hit. We'll hop on in. And on the inside, it's actually not that bad in here. I mean, the airbag did go off, which is, good, I guess. It looks like all I gotta do is replace the airbag in this little cover that goes over it. Oh, dude, I wonder if we can see the imprint of their face on the airbag, or if they just, it looks like they just cut the airbag out completely, actually. Well, that's a shame. Yo, sometimes if girls are driving vehicles and they get hit and their airbag goes off, then their makeup transfers to the airbag. I've seen it happen a couple times when replacing airbags. It's funny as shit. Where's the airbag? I guess there wasn't a passenger airbag. Passenger airbag didn't deploy. Also, passenger seat belts still good, which is awesome. But driver seat belt, lockerino. I'll have to take this to my buddy in Roswell. It does have 4-wheel drive. You got your locker here. It's a little e-brake, because, oh, am I in neutral still? All in all, the interior's in great condition. Looks like whoever was over here peed and pooped themselves or something like that, I don't know. So it looks like the steering wheel and the airbag are really the only thing that the interior needs, and the seat belts as well. Everything else looks pretty much spotless. Maybe a good clean, maybe some accents, but here's the thing. With this build, 74 Auto, this is all of 74 Auto's build, not mine. 74 Auto just gave me the car to rebuild, and then afterwards we're gonna sell this one. I'm not gonna keep it like I am the dually. This will be a rebuild and sell, and they're also going to be supplying a lot of the parts. So it's important that you guys tell us in the comments, or go tell them on Instagram what parts you wanna see on the Jeep build. Obviously, it's gonna need new wheels and tires. Duh, you can't have a Jeep without wheels and tires, which means it's gonna need a lift. I don't wanna make this thing an absolutely ridiculous mall crawler. I think there's plenty of those Jeeps out there. But, you know, something that's moderate, maybe not too crazy. Maybe I'll fabricate a custom front bumper for this, because the Jeeps need a lot less than the dually does. Maybe some custom interior work, but for the most part, we have a pretty solid foundation on where to start our build. It's actually not in bad shape. I mean, it's a Jeep. The interior looks the same on all of them. There's no seat wear and tear. I don't think this thing has very many miles on it. Whoever had it for the short amount of time that they did took pretty good care of it until they got into a crash. Back door opens, no problem. Might can salvage that, I don't know. Glass is good, which is pretty surprising to me. I mean, for the most part, I mean, they looks like whoever owned it owned a dog or something like that, but pretty good condition back here as well. And I can kind of tell who owned this vehicle beforehand. It's definitely a girl. There's like glitter in the center console. I found like one of these like water bottles in here too. There it is, yeah. Found one of these like, ugh. She like shit in it, ugh. Found a couple hair ties in the center console. I mean, just like little stuff that you know that a girl drives it. And I'll tell you, this is the final kicker how I know a girl drives it. Guys roll their Jeeps off-road. Girls roll their Jeeps on the highway. That's the difference. That's how you know. And this is a highway crash. That's 100% what this is. She hit somebody in front of her, and then they got hit behind her. That's just what I'm assuming happened. I'm just being misogynistic because it's funny. Yeet. I mean, it does need one major thing. It's the frame. Spoiler alert. Yeah, that Jeep needs a new frame. And you guys see the hell that we're going through in the dually swap. I'm pretty sure Alan, the guy who owns 74 Auto, he's a good friend of mine. I say that begrudgingly, but I'm pretty sure he sent me another vehicle with a bend up frame just to mess with me this time around, you son of a bitch. He's like, you want a Jeep Wrangler? I got a Jeep Wrangler. And I've been so hesitant to start on a Jeep because I don't know anything about Jeeps. I don't even really like Jeeps that much. Like, there's not much about Jeeps that I like. When I see this thing, I think of, like, I see a rolling stereotype when I look at a Jeep. And I'm looking for this build to change my mind on that. I want to make this into something cool, not over the top, not so stupid to where like no one's going to enjoy it or appreciate it. Just something simple and clean with a little bit of my custom touch here and there. That'll be that. So wheels, tires, probably an exhaust, maybe a supercharger. Alan, because he's footing the bill on this one. All the dually's been my own money. You see this, Alan? This is all your problem. I mean, I gotta fix it, but you're writing the checks. So we need a frame, power steering pump, steering wheel cover for the airbag, seat belts, and then we need the body work. And I'm sure we'll find a couple other small things in here when it comes time to take this all apart. It's never just as simple as like, oh, well, you know, the frame shot, so we gotta replace that. I say that, but we got a clear line to our front drive shaft and front axle, and it doesn't look bent. It's not leaking, there's no drips, there's no cracks. I mean, your front linkage has got some rust on it right here, but that's just natural Jeep stuff. And we're probably gonna replace that anyway when we go to a bigger lift. Man, Alan was not joking when he said it did need a new frame. I'm like, are you sure? I think he's pretty sure. That thing's busted. So first things first, before you guys freak out about doing another frame. On the dually, for instance, we communicated that it probably needed a new frame. When Alan and I were talking, we talked about how it can be pulled, but it probably needed a new frame. The fact that it needed a new frame was not unknown to me, and I took on that project. That's how it works. I mean, if no one's gonna take on this kind of project, this is gonna sit here in a parking spot in rot until it's useless, but this has a lot of potential. My dually has a lot of potential. So I don't want a nice vehicle to sit around and rot when someone like me or you, for instance, can come along for cheap and pick up a vehicle. I don't remember what this thing was listed for. I want to say it was in the teens. It was like stupid cheap. But someone like you and me can come along and take a vehicle like this or my dually or any other car in 74 Auto and make it look brand new for almost half the price, and it still be a reliable, beautiful vehicle. And it's like, you got what you want, right? You got an awesome vehicle that's reliable, and you know it's good and new because you did all the work yourself. And it's cheap. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part, is that it's so much cheaper. So yes, this is gonna need a new frame, amongst other things. But I'm not gonna make the same mistakes as last time. No, what I should have done is done the frame first and then done everything else afterwards, because I feel like a lot of people, their perspectives got thrown off by how much money or time I've put into the dually, because they're like, well, you have to do all this and a frame swap, when it's not like that at all. It's not at all like that. So I'm not gonna make the same mistake as last time. I'm about to load this thing on the back of a trailer that I rented and take it to Magnum Collision, where we're gonna replace the frame. I mean, not today, we'll probably have to work on this after the dually gets done. But once the dually's out of there, this thing's gonna get frame swapped. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have my buddy Lewis give me a parts list and things that we're gonna need, you know, panels, radiators, and we're gonna go ahead and start ordering that kind of stuff. The frame, we're gonna go ahead and start getting it all in order, so when we do get ready to tackle this project, we'll have all the tools and we'll know exactly what to do. And here's the kicker about doing the frame on the Jeep. Both Lewis and Alan have both told me it's way easier than the dually. There's a lot less components attached to it. It's a lot less technology and small things, and there's a lot less bigger things too. It's a much easier process, and hopefully we can knock it out in half the time it's taking for the dually. But I know you guys are saying enough of that. Let's hear it. Let's start it up. Well, I will. I'm gonna. I mean, it doesn't have a radiator or power steering, but neither one of those things prevent the engine from running. You can drive a car without coolant in it for a little while. You don't have much time, but you can do it. Like, there's no coolant in it, so we can only probably get away with, you know, probably a couple minutes, just enough to get on the trailer. And I'll show you what the problem is. Yeah. Let's just start it up. The battery's dead. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it seems like these cars, or these Jeeps, whatever you want to call them, require an absurd amount of starting amperage. I got my charge box from my motorcycles, let it charge for an hour. I tried jumping it off of 3 different cars, and the only thing that will get it off is a jumper box, and I don't have a jumper box. So I went out and grabbed a new battery, and that should fix it, you know? Very rarely do I come across a car that like requires so much power and the battery is dead to the point where I can't jump it that way. Rather than try to jump it and get on the trailer, I'm just gonna put a new battery in it. I think she needs a name. I'm feeling Clara. Or Shaniqua. Good old Shaniqua. Don't worry, Shaniqua, we're gonna make you look as big and beautiful as ever. Let's go ahead and get the new battery in so we can get on the trailer and take it over to Magnum. Stop it. Battery carpet, are you kidding me? Why would you install this? Heavy ass battery. It doesn't look like it's getting caught in the fan belt or anything like that. Nice. Now we can get a much better look at her and see what she kind of looks like all the way around. I don't think she'll quite make it all the way to Magnum, which is like a 30-minute drive. So I think I'm gonna trailer it. But we have a lot of work to do with this thing. I mean, it's not hard. It's pretty simple shit. Replacing body panels and this, I mean, it probably needs a new hood or something. I don't know. Definitely needs one of them radiators. Good for cooling. You don't want your Jeep to run too hot. Oh, another thing, by the way, if you're watching this and you have a Jeep, let me point something cool out to you. So obviously it was too dead to start, which means that it was stuck in park. So what I had to do was find the neutral lockout, or the parking lockout release, which is, there's a little panel on the back of your shifter lever here if you have a Jeep, and you pop off a little panel. It's a little piece of plastic, kind of just covers it. Looks like so. You just pop it out with a screwdriver or whatever. Inside that you'll find this little orange strap here. You just pull that really hard and you'll hear it lock in neutral. You can move your Jeep even if your battery is dead. You don't have to worry about the battery being attached or whatnot. So if you need to move it, there's a little loop strap back here. You just pull it and put you in neutral. But we don't need to do that since our battery's connected now. Oh man, purrs. Purrs like a kitten. How many miles are on this thing? 10,000 miles. Parking sensor unavailable. No shit. Blind alert unavailable. Service airbags. Right front turn signals out. Engine electronic stability control. Transmission. Is that it? Cool. We can fight all these problems when it comes to it. Right now she purrs like a kitten without power steering. Backup camera still works, which is nice. It does not have AC right now. 2 vehicles without AC. Do burnouts on a trailer. That's cool. Cool. I've already named it Shaniqua.
Shaniqua? All right.
See, because she's a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. So when I went to go get the trailer for the Jeep, they asked me what vehicle was going on, which is the Ram. And they asked me what vehicle is going on it. And they're like, nah, no, that won't work. It's not rated for that. And I was like, okay, I'll just carry it with my other truck, which, you know, obviously is torn apart right now, you know, like a liar. But I want to do the math. I know the Ram has got about 8,000 pounds of towing capacity. So how much does a 2019 Jeep Wrangler curb weight? We are missing some parts. It says at most 4,400 pounds. So let's say how much a U-Haul car trailer weight. Okay, the trailer weighs 2,200 pounds plus 44. So 6,600 pounds. Now we're pushing it a little bit, but I've trailered much worse. The only thing is that U-Haul didn't have trailer brakes. So now we're gonna take to Magnum. All right, so you guys remember Lewis?
What's up?
Our lovely, beautiful guy over. God, he's such a cutie boy.
Brought me another disaster.
Oh, he loves
we're gonna
frame
fix
swaps.
it. Yeah.
This
I'm
is your
so
problem.
excited.
He's gonna get us a parts list and figure out what's missing and what we need lift-wise. Oh, and look who it is.
Yo, you're right on time.
It's our trusty blister.
Here you go, buddy.
That's your problem now.
Great.
It's this sweet Jeep. All right, Lewis, you want to look at this thing real quick?
Come on, let's go.
Oh, by the way, Rob, he says he doesn't want to be on camera, but
He's gonna be on
here
camera.
he is.
Let's go look at the business side of it. That's nothing.
That's party.
We're thinking about just doing a little welding.
We got some research.
This ain't gonna be nowhere near as bad as that truck.
See, that's what you and Alan say. I don't know if I trust you or not. Like,
You shouldn't.
you tell me a lot of stuff. You're like, yeah, we can pull that engine out. Next thing you know, he's like trying to hook it up to a lift, and he's like, nah, it don't have enough balls.
Where's the engine though?
It's sitting over there on the floor.
Okay. That's what I said I was gonna do.
Yeah, dude, a Duramax swap Jeep. It'd be really cool. I'd love to do one of those Hellcat swaps, but I don't think I have the budget for it.
So this had to have something here to hook it up.
Right. So what I've been doing is I've been putting in this like little pot. Yeah. See, that's exactly where I put it. It seems good.
It's a relocation bracket.
You should see that thing flopping in the wind going down I-75. You're like 90 miles an hour. The U-Haul trailer says 55. I was like, double or nothing.
Tell me you're towing a Jeep, or did you say Miata?
Oh no, I lied.
Rear seat belts are locked up too.
Are the rear seatbelts locked?
No.
No.
That's good now.
I better say I checked them earlier. Oh, hi. We're out here looking at your new problem.
Mr. Rubin.
Good to see you again. Good to see you again. And while we're here at Magnum, the last thing we really need to do is get the glass pulled out so we can start doing the body damage or the body repair. We got this whole replacement panel for the right side, and then we're gonna be able to pull the dents on that side. So this big piece is basically going to replace the other side. So Rob and I are gonna pull out. Why are y'all trying to hide from camera? Like, that's ridiculous. So we're gonna just pull out the rear seats, pull out the speaker box, and pull the headliner down a little bit so they can pull the glass out. Probably just get a little bit of extra stuff done on the truck today. Not much. No, I won't lie. This is a much more convenient hike. All right, so we got the seats out. Now we're gonna remove the headliner just a little bit and the back panel, and then it'll be ready for the glass guy to come in and pull the glass out. So those things. I am so just nettled right now. You have no idea just how bummed I am that we had to pull out the headliner. It just goes.
It just goes.
It just goes across. It's to the tail light. Oh, cool. If I'd known that, that'd save me some trouble.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Danny.
Yeah, come on, guy who does the windows. Have fun pulling that shit out. Had to rip out the whole damn interior again. So, as we were basically getting ready to pull half the headliner out, Luce comes over and tells us that the whole thing needs to be pulled out. So, we basically stripped the entire headliner again and removed basically everything I'd already done. That hurt a little bit, but it's not a big deal. After this, we got changed and did a little bit more work to the dually when it died down at the shop, but it really wasn't enough to make a full video on, so I just tacked it on to the end of this video. So the rest of this video is us just kind of working on the dually and getting it ready to put the engine back in. So yeah, see, last time when we did that really cool front end thing that we showed you on the last video, we blew out the CV boot. So we gotta put on a new CV boot.
We're just gonna sit this on here for right now.
Yeah, just kind of like hold it in place.
Yeah.
Look at this big ass gas tank. This is our 60-gallon fuel tank. And it looks like it goes probably about right here. It's molded to the body, so this part lines up with the frame, it looks like. Yeah, because then this little collar goes up around here, and this looks like it goes here, and then it just fits underneath the rest of the body. So this is 60 plus gallons, it's not an exact number. And then that is the OEM frame, which is like 32, 34 gallons, something like that. Basically, we gotta take all that stuff. Well, I don't know if we take it all off, but look at all this, look at all this corrosion from like where the fuel pump and like the diesel's been dripping for the past geez, who knows how long. Hi, buddy.
What's going on?
Nothing much. So just trying to find those instructions that I dropped. Here they are. Instructions and hardware, probably in here. Titan Fuel Tanks sent this out. Shout out to Titan Fuel Tanks. This is something I knew I wanted right away, was the bigger gas tank, so I could go longer without fill-ups. Hopefully around 1,000 miles before I need to fill up. All right, let's see here. Important documents. It's got a required tool list and hardware list. And they even sent us the molded shield, which just sits on the bottom of the gas tank, prevents rocks and stuff from like puncturing it, or at least helps. I mean, this stuff looks pretty simple. Where are you taking my parts? I can't wait to see how much this thing costs to fill up. Those are some like really heavy duty mounts. The problem is they sent out instructions and I can't read, so. All right, we're gonna take off the OEM gas tank first so we can swap out all the parts. Probably should have done before we dropped the frame on the ground. First try. Use a mallet and a screwdriver. Oh, man, that smells so good too. Nice. So this is the OEM fuel pump assembly. Basically, it just feeds fuel from the bottom. It sucks it from the bottom. You got a little float. This is tell you how much gasoline you have left. The aftermarket tank, as long as it's still got the float, should still detect how much fuel is left. It should still show empty and full. I don't know how it's going to work about my fuel mileage. Does it go off of injector capacity, like for miles per gallon? So when it go off injector capacity. So
Let's go outside and talk.
As far as showing miles per gallon, I don't know if my fuel economy is going to be measured through like how much my injectors push out.
Yeah.
That's what I think, if it just calculates how much the injectors are pushing out at one time, or if it goes off like simply by how much fuel you've consumed according to the gauge that it's calibrated to, based on how far you've driven.
Right.
which is what I think would be like the simplest way, but I feel like GM would do this because they have different fuel capacity options. I feel like that's how they do it, is by injectors.
Yep.
That's all I'm trying to say. You guys tell me in the comments. Lewis is over here bench pressing truck. Bench press that truck, Lewis. Put that right there. And that will drop in there. So the reason I brought up the fact that this is the original fuel pump is that this truck technically has a second fuel pump system, that fast fuel system. It basically just pushes more fuel, it sucks more fuel out through the OEM fuel pump too, I guess. Basically, it's just a secondary fuel pump. Put on the second fuel system, you tune it, add more power. It's pretty simple. More fuel, more boost. More boost equals more air being forced into your engine. You're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby, hell yeah. So that's all they've done is just...
Yeah, they just cut out this fucking...
You got a hole saw? So yeah, we're gonna try to like just run a hole saw and cut the same size in the other fuel tank. That's the idea anyway. Positive.
My toe.
That's how they say to do in the instructions, just drop it, full stank.
It kind of does look like it. Dan.
Smells like diesel. Gotta go more this way, right?
Maybe you might have to.
You're hitting this thing. No, that's...
That bracket?
Yeah.
I don't think it had anything on the other frame.
There you go, what's that percent?
Does it say anything about deleting it?
Just past the edge of the weldment will need to be cut off and allowed for installation of the oversized replacement tank. This can be done with a sawzall, hand grinder. Yeah, so we just gotta cut it. The instructions on the pamphlet that we got says we gotta cut this whole this bracket off. Apparently this is used from the factory as like some sort of process when they build the frame, but this is useless. You just cut it off. This bracket just sits there and you just take a sawzall, cut it off past the piping, and it's good. Oh, also, I need to make sure you guys know, you don't have to remove the frame from the body to install this. You can totally do this just by getting underneath the truck and doing it yourself. But since we have the frame off, might as well do it now. Wiggity, wiggity, wiggity. I think we should move this for a brief second, though. The tank, so there's not a bunch of hot sparks on it, because it's plastic. While we have everything apart, I don't want to do too many upgrades just because like I'm not trying to get a million horsepower out of this thing. I don't give a shit. I'm actually really content with the horsepower. It's got plenty of power and torque. But while we had everything apart, they recommended that I just throw in these aftermarket, I don't know,
Manifold pipes.
Manifold pipes, down pipes, who knows? Nice aftermarket down pipe, whatever they are. They help, they're gonna spool faster, essentially what it is. It's gonna help the turbo spool faster and a little bit lower end torque probably, but just makes it breathe better. Nothing crazy, but while we had everything apart, might as well install these. Can you imagine trying to do this without having the engine out?
Dude, it would suck so bad.
The rust is basically just nature's Loctite.
Yeah, pretty much.
I gotta cut this little mountain thing off, for, like right here. I gotta cut this part off as well. Come on, man. So, long story short, we ripped the head of a bolt off in the block. That took a while to fix. We got the gas tank ready, torqued down to 20 foot-pounds per their instructions, and we got the front end completely assembled, pretty much for the engine to be dropped back in. The glass will be removed this week, and then the body will start to be repaired. We spent a good amount of time here today and ran into a bunch of little snags that we all hammered out and fixed together. Realistically, today was the only setback that we've had. But now the engine should be ready to get dropped in, the body panel should be ready to be repaired, and we're probably only a day or two away from having this build done completely. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time to see what's going on with the Jeep, and the Dually, and the Camaro, and then the other Camaro, and then the other motorcycles. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. I love you very much.